Hey everyone, welcome to another week of Maximum Storytelling. My name is Annika Godlewski, and I'm so excited to talk with everyone about all things having to do with video and telling stories through film and photographs and just getting your law firm story and all of the stories of your clients and colleagues out there into the world as an awesome way to market. So this week we are going to be talking about not Facebook. Oh my gosh, I'm so used to saying Facebook followers, YouTube followers. So we all know that every time you create a great video, you're going to want to put it on your YouTube channel. I mean, we hit that home all the time. But I think one of the things that sometimes we forget about is how to increase the number of people who not only watch that video, but also the number of people who are notified every time you have a new video posted to your channel. And the best way to do that is to increase the number of followers that you have, the number of people who are subscribing to your channel, the number of places that your channel is subscribing to in reciprocation, and just really making a concerted effort to have a strategic approach to doing that. So what I wanted to share with you guys is this list of 60 amazing YouTube channels in the legal field that you can follow for a number of reasons. One, it just increases your reach, right? So if you're following all of these different places, then there's a likelihood that all of these different channels are going to follow you back naturally because, if you're on Facebook or if you're on Instagram or you're on Twitter and you see that somebody has taken the time to follow what you're doing, 9 times out of 10, you're going to say, oh, well, I want to be interested in what they're doing too. So how about I follow them back? So if you go ahead and subscribe to all of these different channels and check out what they're doing and follow them on YouTube, one, you're going to hopefully get that reciprocation. But two, you're going to have a even broader reach because all of those people that are already following that channel are going to see that you are now also following them. So you're going to be exposed to all of those other followers as well. Again, hopefully for reciprocation, but and at the very least, you're going to have all of these great new video ideas constantly, showing up in your normal feed because you're going to be notified of all of the times that they post new videos too. They'll be notified of you if they subscribe back and follow you back, and vice versa. So I am going to share my screen with all of you guys who are lucky enough to follow live. If you're in the Maximum Lawyer Guild, we have you, we give you the opportunity to see all of these podcasts live and jump on and ask questions and everything. So for those lucky Guild members who are tuning in, they'll get to see this first. For all of you who are listening at home or in your car or on your spin bike, then you can also go to this link that I'll make sure is posted under the podcast. But it's a site called FeedSpot, blog.feedspot.com. And it's the title of the article is 60 Law YouTube Channels Every Lawyer Must Follow. So here I can show this to you in just a second. And I am so bad at sharing my screen quickly, so please forgive me. But that is what makes listening to my podcast so fun, because you hear me talking to myself, and hopefully you are chuckling at home right now or in your car. Don't laugh too hard and hit the car in front of you, especially the PI guys, because you know how that ends up. All right, so here are some examples of really great legal YouTube channels to follow. They're interesting anyway, but again, so that you can expand your reach. Law and Crime Network, YouTuber Law, Stanford Law School, The Law Simplified. Again, not all, majority of these are based in the US, but some of them are overseas. University of Virginia School of Law, US Law Essentials, Wild About Trial in Los Angeles, California. Learn Law Better, Cambridge Law Faculty out of the UK, Bloomberg Law, NYU School of Law. I mean, the list goes on. Duke University School of Law, University University of Law in the United Kingdom, University of Chicago Law School, Penn State, Penn Law, Thomson Reuters Legal in the UK and Ireland, and of course in the United States as well. Case Western out in Cleveland, very close to my hometown of Toledo, Ohio. Leiden School of Law in the Netherlands. Live Laugh Law. This is a 23-year-old second-year law student from Howard. She's a Howard University graduate and a beauty enthusiast. Her ultimate goal is to inform the world about law school. Again, it might not be right up your alley of things that you tend to listen to as a lawyer, but that sounds fun, right? And she seems interesting. And, knowing that she's only 23 years old, or, well, actually, this was from a couple of years ago, so maybe she's 25 or 26 now. She's still young enough to be a social media junkie like, all the younger people are. And so she's going to have a big reach too. Law Society of England and Wales, UCLA Law School, you guys get the point. So use this list as a starting point, right? So take this list, go to your YouTube channel, and on your YouTube channel, go to make sure that you're logged in through your law firm's YouTube channel. I know some people have their own private YouTube and then they have their law firm YouTube, because let's face it, I mean, if you are looking up recipes, or you're trying to figure out how to change the brakes in your car, or you have a son who's 8 years old like mine and wants to watch Lego videos all day long, you don't always want that intermingled with all of the stuff you watch as a lawyer. So make sure that when you're subscribing to all these places, you are logged in under your law firm's YouTube channel, but go and subscribe to all of those different places. Again, it's going to extend your reach and hopefully get reciprocation back. The second way to increase your reach and to hopefully get more followers is to look at all of the people in your life, on a day-to-day basis who may have YouTube channels, right? I mean, it sounds a little silly, but your hairdresser, your next door neighbor, your kid's friend who is hoping to play pro soccer, maybe he has a YouTube channel of all of his highlights, game highlights. The local bakery, I don't even know. I mean, everyone has a YouTube channel now. And maybe they just have a YouTube profile where they don't post a ton of stuff themselves, but they're still on YouTube and they have, a public profile that you can follow and subscribe to. And because you don't always, you can add things to your own channel, or show interest in things on your own channel, even though you didn't create it yourself, right? So there's still opportunities to connect with all of these people. And it's a great way to, send an email out to all these people individually and say, hey, I checked out your YouTube channel, like the soccer example, right? Hey, I checked out your kid's YouTube channel. Super cool. I followed it. Hopefully all of my people following me see that I'm following him too. So just wanted to throw that out there, that I think he's doing great stuff. And I took a chance to follow him. Great job. So what do you think is going to happen from that? They're naturally going to look at your channel because they saw that you took the time to look at theirs, and you're going to end up with, hundreds of relationships that really didn't take a whole lot of time to develop. It's just simply being a little strategic in, how you use YouTube when you're already on there anyway, posting the videos that we all know are so important to really showing off the personality of your firm. So I'm going to also check to see if there are any people on who have any examples of favorite ways to follow other people, or to, if they have any hot tips on best practices for following. But another, we don't have anything yet, but another thing that you can do is even in the guild, right? I know that there have been a couple of posts through the Maximum Lawyer Guild's private Facebook page where, people say, hey, I'm really trying to increase the number of people who follow my YouTube channel. Would you mind following me? Sometimes those posts pop up and maybe you don't really have the 10 extra minutes to go through and do that at the time that the post popped up. And if you didn't put it on your to-do list, then, it kind of goes on the back burner. But make that a strategic approach when you're carving out all of this time to do the videos and to post everything to YouTube, take the time to do that. Look at all of the different lists and all of the different groups that you're a part of, and look up the person's profile. 9 times out of 10, they have it listed right there in their Facebook profile. Or, so if you're already part of these Facebook groups like Maximum Lawyer or the Maximum Lawyer Guild or your state bar association, or I don't know, like a mom's group that you're a part of, or fantasy football, private group that you guys all, compare scores, whatever it is, go through and look at those people's profiles. And a lot of times they'll have their YouTube listed right there in all the about information on their Facebook page. So again, go through and follow all those people. And it's not too goofy to ask for them to follow you back or to subscribe back to your channel. So and of course, we've talked in past episodes about the more people who are subscribing to your channel, the more features you're able to unlock through YouTube. I know it's constantly changing, but at one point you couldn't have a custom YouTube URL. Like you couldn't name your channel youtube.com/Annika Godlewski, right? You used to not be able to do that unless you had a certain number of subscribers. So since those rules are constantly changing, the best rule of thumb is to always have as many subscribers as you can. And, if any of you have these kids, younger kids who are totally obsessed with YouTube and they get completely sucked into these guys, like subscribe to my channel, hit like below, buy my merch, you're probably familiar with people asking for, subscriptions to channels and subscribe to my channel. But for those of you who are just kind of delving into the world of YouTube and you don't have tweens or 8, 9, 10-year-olds who think the world revolves around these crazy kids with Nerf guns who have millions of followers, which still blows my mind. If you're not familiar with all of those different kid channels, it's not unusual and it's not goofy and it's not awkward or inappropriate to ask for people to subscribe back. It's really not. It can feel a little weird, especially if you've never done it before, because again, you're talking about yourself, you're asking somebody to show enough interest in, hey, show enough interest in me that you want to see everything I put on YouTube. It'll feel a little goofy, but it's really not. And it's so normal. And it's becoming more and more commonplace. So I strongly encourage you that anytime you're going to follow somebody on Facebook, you're going to follow them on Instagram, you're already doing the work to look them up. Go to their YouTube channel, type in their name, see if they have, a profile or, a YouTube channel themselves, and do that too, because you can easily make it part of your social media strategy without having to do a lot of extra work. And if you're going to take the time to watch all of these videos anyway, a lot of these videos are of course going to be of interest and they're going to be captivating alone. Whatever thoughts you might have on that, comment on the video. How excited would you be if somebody was watching your video and they took the time to leave a comment for you and leave a little bit of feedback, even if it's something as simple as like, hey, I didn't know that, thank you for the information, or hey, great job doing this video, or hey, I really like your tie, or hey, it's awesome that you have the guts to get in front of the camera. Like literally whatever thought is going on through your mind, add it as a comment. It makes people feel good, and they're more likely to do that back for you, and it kind of opens up that conversation, especially in the legal world. You guys are it's so funny to see so many attorneys. I mean, not necessarily right now with COVID because everybody doesn't see each other in person as much, but I can't tell you all of the different times that attorneys will tell me stories of judges or defense counsel or, a law clerk or a court reporter, somebody in court saying, oh, hey, I saw your newsletter, or, oh, hey, I saw your video on Facebook, or, oh, hey, I saw that post on Instagram. It's really funny because in the legal world, you guys, especially on the local level, you interact with each other so much offline because of, the cases and just the industry in general, that it gives you that one extra thing to talk about when you're all waiting for the judge to arrive, or when you're waiting for, the deposition to be over, or you're waiting for, I don't know, the mediation to wrap up. So again, sometimes it can be very easy to have a shallow approach to all of this and say, oh, well, I just want more followers, or or I just want more subscribers, or I want people to see my videos. If you take the little bit of a twist and look at it like, well, it's also creating the opportunity to build a relationship and have a conversation and really connect with the people that you're interacting with anyway, when you do see each other on a human to human level, and instead of just behind a screen or on camera, it can really help things blossom into something more than just a follow. So again, we always hope that anything that we're doing out there is meaningful and is real and is as genuine as possible, so that when it does come time to remember you, when something bad does happen, or when somebody does need legal help, or they need assistance with a case that they might not handle because it's not in their wheelhouse, then they're going to think of you, and they're going to think back on that conversation that they had at court about the Instagram post, or they're going to remember the comment that you made about the video that they put on YouTube, or they're going to remember the fact that you took the time to subscribe to their channel. Always keep that in the back of your head, that that's the ultimate goal. And it's so much more than just, finding fans and creating new ones. But if you guys ever have any questions about anything having to do with videos, YouTube, storytelling, lighting, anything, Josh Nagel and I are always here to answer your questions. We'll make sure to put a link to that list of 60 different places or different law blogs, or oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind, sorry. If you want to check out the list of 60 different legal YouTube channels to follow, definitely make sure to check out the link that I'm going to post, and don't be afraid to go through and find all of the people in your circle of life, both professionally and personally, and follow their YouTube channels. Make sure to subscribe to all of them, and you can definitely expect to build some great relationships from those subscriptions. So until next week, this has been another episode of Maximum Storytelling, and we look forward to seeing you every Wednesday at 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out, Annika Godlewski, and we'll make sure that we get your questions answered and covered on the next podcast episode. Thanks.